Ladies and gentlemen, this could be the next lovable killer. If you're into building AI apps, the promise here is that sometimes you keep prompting and it doesn't really get you to where you want to go. Or maybe you keep prompting and you get into a circle and may not have the app that you want to do. So today we're going to check out this new app based off this really cracked team, and it's called Spawn. And so Spawn will allow you to create apps, games, and stuff all literally from words. So it's almost like a no-code builder, and you just describe the app that you want. And people have been building some really interesting apps here, literally games to like SaaS businesses to, you know, any type of stuff that you can think of that you've been trying to build with other apps platforms. They've been able to achieve it here. So this is Spawn here, and it's actually in like sort of, you can use it to get some credits and to build with these things. And all you have to do is just give it instructions in plain English, and it should basically allow you to make the app that you're doing. And I'm hanging out with my friend here, Manuel, who's goes by the name of Program with AI. And Manuel is a next level prompter and a really skilled not only prompt engineer, just an engineer who's just really, really cracked in general. And it'd just be really fun to kind of have us together on the stream, work with this stuff and see kind of what we can cook up with. So if you're down to vibe with this, definitely check it out. And make sure you stay tuned because in the middle of the stream, I'm going to drop some actual access tokens. So you can put these codes in and get, it's called a creator pass, so that you can actually try to use this stuff with us in parallel live. And so Manuel, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, so excited to be here. So we have your screen up as well. So let's go ahead and see if we can kind of take a look and see kind of what you're cooking with, man.
So I actually literally logged in for the first time this morning and tried a couple of things out. I'm not exactly sure what this all does. Mm-hmm. I created 2 projects, and as far as I can tell, this product is based around being able to publish your app. So it seems to be like a coding agent, but then you can directly publish it on their website, which is different, I think, from the other agents that I've been trying so far, like Manus. Mm-hmm. So I created a little project, and you were saying, like, let's make games. So for people who don't know, who are too young, there used to be a game called Spore in like around 2008, which had a really, really cool creature creator. The game was kind of mid, but creating creatures in there was pretty cool. So I wanted to have that as a pixel, kind of 2D pixel creature creator. You could drag and drop like your body and body parts and change it and make it dance. So I think that's literally what I put into the prompt. And I can't seem to scroll back to where this is going, but it generated these, like, it has this like graph view of the different projects, which is pretty new. Oh, I didn't see this button over here. All right, just go back.
Yeah, like the logo and stuff. Yeah.
So it created 4 versions of it, and it looks, I don't know what this graph view is supposed to be, but this was the first version.
Wow.
Which looks pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Like it has some pixels and all of that. Okay. And I guess it's supposed to work. So you get in, you have like an editor, which looks pretty cool as well. It's like the theme is pretty consistent.
Wow.
It has some pretty nice assets. So I wonder where those assets come from. Like I don't think this was like AI generated. I'm not sure.
Wait, so hold up.
Maybe it was.
You started out with a single text prompt and you just said, I want to create a builded alien pixel creatures with, or like what was it?
These are not the prompts that I used exactly, but it was pretty much something like that, like build a 2D spore creature creator or something like that.
Whoa. Wow. Holy smokes. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, you have to tell me, like, I'm so used to having these things do amazing stuff that I'm like, yeah, this is like normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is pretty, I mean, you know, you had shown me this like maybe even 4 weeks ago. I'd be like, okay. Definitely 2 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. This is impossible. This makes no sense.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like part of my daily life. I'm just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Just generate 4 games.
Yeah. If anyone is on live, I saw DeBerryman is on live on X. You can just drop a comment. Let us know what you want us to build, and we can try to see if we can spore something up. So like, see if we can spawn something else. What's on your mind?
So I think I'm out of credits already.
Are you serious?
So I think you probably have like more credits. Yeah,
okay.
I tried to make a second project. I mean, I can try again, right?
Okay.
I wanted to do like a 2D roguelike Dark Souls kind of inspired game with environmental storytelling is kind of what I put in there.
Okay.
And then it told me like, oh, you need to fuel your journey with credits. So I
Oh,
don't know if you have credits, like maybe it's easier for you to take over at that point.
yeah. Let me see if I could try prompting on my side. So this is kind of the interface here with spawn. And then you just say, I guess you just hit down here. It says describe your idea of what you want to spawn, right? So what is it that we want to do? Let's,
You choose. I had like a 2D roguelike Dark Souls game.
oh, I see. Yeah. I think, what could be really interesting for me? What is this hyper evolution thing here? So this is literally just hyperclick evolution, chaos, and you're basically learning. This is like a learning game. Oh my god, this is so crazy. This is amazing. So I think for me, describe this what I want Spawn to do. Please help me build a game-like system to help me learn large language models. I want to be able to give it GitHub links so you can review the code and help me learn a GitHub repo, especially around large language models. But it should be able to kind of create this like really fun, catchy game that's really addicting to play. At the same time, it helps me learn about how the repo works, but also helps me learn about some AI ML topics. So I'm using this app called Whisperflow, by the way, and it basically just dictates the text. I'm going to go ahead and hit spawn here. So I think
it took it as an attachment, so you still have to do things. That was a complex prompt, man.
Oh,
I'm curious to see what happens.
Describe. Please build this game idea. Okay.
Yes, I do this thing like people call it brutalist prompting. I would just have typed like build.
Okay, build.
Or like go. I'm
So,
like,
yeah.
not please. Who cares
It
about
says
please?
Savi. So Savi, I think, is the agent that is going to be doing the spawning here, and that's the thing that actually is supposed to like generate these different ideas. And so from this one idea, given all those requirements that I just pasted in, I didn't paste it in. I basically am just using something to do some dictation. And so for those who are watching, I actually have a QR code. So if you want to scan this right now, what this does is it'll basically get you some credits. You get $15 off on Whisper, and I'm not sponsored. These people are not sponsored, by the way. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, but this is a thing called Whisperflow, WISPR-Flow.ai. So Whisperflow AI is the one that I'm using, and it's like the best for me. Like absolutely, like the reason why I'm using this is because of their new privacy policies and stuff like that. It's like, you know, they're not trying to collect your data and all this stuff, and that basically allows you know, to do like the dictation that I'm doing. And it's so perfect for these types of things where you're doing prompting. So I'll have a link in the descriptions so that you can get your $15 credit, whatever. Because I think the per month cost is $12 a month, but if you do yearly, but if you do monthly, it's $15 a month. So you basically just get a month for free. But it's super good. It understands if you're doing emails and all that stuff as well. So yeah, just want to give a heads up on that. So let's see what's going on with my LLM. Learning Odyssey. So this is kind of what it's broken into. So it looks like it's taken this one prompt and spawned off 4 different ideas here. And so this is kind of what it's doing. Is this kind of what you saw setting up on your side there, Manuel?
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw. And you're in Safari right now?
Yes. Yeah. It's the only
yeah,
browser,
you'll have
bro.
to switch to Chrome because it doesn't render them in Safari, I think.
What? No way.
At least I don't know. And so this, by the way, do you see this little timer underneath?
Yeah. Let's try on Chrome.
It literally took 25 minutes. So we'll have to.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It doesn't show you very much. So we'll have to probably check back in 24 minutes or so.
Oh,
I guess
see.
it like shows you a little bit what it's doing, but there's like no real history about it.
Okay. So like possibly an AI agent is doing some type of thing. Got it.
Yeah, you could try in Chrome actually, because I was doing it on my phone and then it didn't really render too much. But yeah, let's see in Chrome. Maybe there's more that's visible.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I could switch it to like our talking heads type of thing. Will like get kind of Chrome fired up.
Oh, and Javen's in the chat.
Yo,
who's building this?
What's going on, man? Yeah, he says try in Chrome. It should work there. Best on Chrome for sure. All right, cool. That's good to know. Yeah, I kind of. Chrome has gotten a lot better at memory management. I made a post where like I think it ate up like 4 gigabytes of my memory. I was like, dude, what are you doing in Chrome? But they've gotten like since then they've gotten way better. I'm also very biased because I used to work at Apple and I love WebKit. WebKit's really good, but Chrome is obviously in way more people's hands, and it's something you can't ignore as far as like when you're building for software, making your stuff work. And so I can't view this app. I have to request it. So request access. I should be able to sign into my account because I already am using this here. So that's what's up. So how do we get you more credits? If I give you another spawn code, does that give you more credits? Is that kind of how that works?
I don't know, actually. I mean, we have Javen here.
Yeah, I just gave you another code there in the chat. See if you can manual.
Oh, I have a guest chat. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So let me see. Let me figure out if I can.
It says you can queue up a couple generations at the same time. We're giving you credit packs to open. Ah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So let me try to get that going.
Yeah. So let me see. I'm now signed in to my app here, and so in my version here, I should just be able to. Whoops. Incoming call. Okay. So I should be able to see the existing project that I have here. Okay. Cool. So this is the project. And then in here, it just tells us that it's doing something adventure style. So it's building its stuff. So it takes a little while to build all of these apps. So just for those who are kind of tuning in, these apps are like fully fledged apps. So you're basically, WASDing. This is kind of crazy, actually. Yeah. Wow. This is pretty insane. So aim the mouse. Oh my gosh. Yo, this is crazy, man.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
Like this is, look how crazy. This is kind of amazing, actually. This is.
All right. I'm just going to go ahead. I don't know if I can use your code to buy a credit, to get credit packs. I'm just going to buy one.
Yeah. Let's see.
Then we'll burn them on stream.
Open credit packs. Skip open all. Tap glass to break it. Okay. Just click it. Does it? All right, cool. Oh, here you go. All you do is just open credit packs or whatever. Are you doing this?
What is that?
So if you go back into the top right where your name is and you hit like go to credit pack or something, you can just get more credits. Yeah.
I can't.
Okay.
You probably have like a
if you go
account or something.
Yeah, it says open credit packs. So, let me kind of make this a little bit here on the side.
Oh yeah, you probably got like gifted some credit packs, and but then I probably have just like a normal account.
Oh, okay. What's your handle? Let's see. Go ahead and click your name.
What's my handle? I have like my email address.
Okay. Let me.
But I think as far as like prompting go, I can just give you the prompt that I would use, and then you can spawn it on your side.
Yo, Tom, I got you for one of the codes here. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So go ahead and grab this right now if you can. So if you want to use this code, yeah, I just popped this in chat. So for Tom, whoops, yeah. So boom, boom. Can DM me his email? Okay, yeah. Give me your email and then I'll send it as a DM.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. So that way you can kind of get in here. Open credit packs.
Oh, no, hold on. I signed up with Google Mail. So it's probably this one.
That's all I'm doing right now. Just like opening credits. Let's go. Bro, let him cook.
That's hilarious.
We are cooking so hard. Yeah. Yeah, let me know, Tom, if you're able to get in. Because I think that credit, the one that I shared basically on the screen, this is the one that I did. Streaming error on X. Oh, no. No way. Okay, so the stream ended on X. Dang, that sucks. Oh, man, that sucks. Continue streaming.
Can you restart it from...
Does it let me? Stopped? I wish I could restart it. Okay, it's okay. As long as we're doing this, I think YouTube is the one that has the most reach.
Yeah, and especially like YouTube. YouTube is like more interactive. I don't know why people just like don't comment on X ever.
They usually do. Yeah, like my first comment was from X. Yeah. So if you're watching this, what hits here is that, okay, what what's this here, and have a little look at what you're cooking. Oh yeah. So for those who are just watching right now and just tuning in, we're taking a look at Spawn. So this app called Spawn will basically allow you to you just describe an idea for an app that you want to make, and it makes it from landing pages to like literally SaaS apps to utilities to art to anything you want to do. And so I'm clicking the app, and literally this is like fully fledged out. You have like a Pokedex type of thing. You have something here that says like a dream portal. And so as you can see, like the detail is like, you don't like, all I did was just give it one description and it's building it. So the app that I did is an LLM Learning Odyssey. And it's, I generated this about, 5 minutes ago. And I just described that I want an adventure style game to learn LLM concepts. And so one of the problems is that fact that like you have to, whenever you're learning language models, you have to like look through code, look through different things. And, that's really important in your journey. I also want like a gamified way for me to just kind of interactively learn a repo. I like to just have, there's something about creativity when you do something in a different way. And if this thing is as what it's promised to build like the various apps, why not have it, make this for me instead of me trying to like vibe code this? See, like it even like has made this landing page so far. This is pretty crazy how it's gotten here. So yeah, we can see what it's building. So like it's trying to build like a landing page. It's getting these different ideas. So like it even has this one called LLM Battle Arena, just from that description that I gave it. So this is going to make a little battle arena game. And then over here, it's going to do CodeQuest game. And this is going to be neural node. So like neural node would be really cool. A node-based visualization game that transforms LLM concepts into interactive networks that players can manipulate to understand the flow. That is cool. If this makes it for me, this is amazing. So I could just share this link and people can use it immediately. And so that's the promise of Spawn. So Spawn, like you can make fully fledged apps like this. This is like somebody's using this to track their metrics, and you can say add metrics. Like this is full fledged like SaaS ideas. And so it's kind of cool because they're using their own AI agents in the background, and it's actually like really good looking stuff, like fully fledged app. So this is really, really interesting, and we got a chance to play with it. And we actually have one of the founders and some of the builders who are watching who are with us here. So I spunk too much energy in all these things to double down. Doubtful would be really, really good. Yeah, totally get it. So I should also be able to invite my friend to the canvas. So I think this is the email that you use. I'm going to go ahead and send that over to these guys so that they can kind of take a look here.
Yeah, it's a Google Mail, Google Mail one.
Oh, the Google Mail one. Okay, cool.
And what's funny looking at this, I was thinking about like the very first game that I programmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's when I was growing up, I'm French, so I grew up in France. And we had this like computer from the government. Like France was always about like building their own stuff and like being their own like little nation. So we had this computer with a 6809 called the Thomson 9, and you had these little books that you would get at the library with like basically code listing.
Nice.
So I went on like a nostalgia trip, and I bought like an old version of I bought one off eBay, and I got all these books that I used to have.
Wow.
So what you would do back then is like basically enter the source code, right? And then you would have your game.
Holy
like the computer would boot, and you just had a prompt, and you had to like build your own stuff. And in a way, even though you don't necessarily see the code here, this feels very similar, right? Like for a long period of time, I think people were suffering from not being able to build stuff quickly because of all these like layers of complexity that we have in modern computers. And this kind of gives you back the vibe that it was back then of like being, the games were obviously like much more simple, but you would start your computer and like 10 minutes later, you had like a little game that you made yourself and you would play it.
Wow.
And yeah, it's kind of going back there, right? Like I didn't understand the programs I was typing in. I was just like copying them from a magazine. And then when stuff would break, then as they always did, because I didn't know, this is
real quick
version of BASIC or so.
I sent you an invite link in the chat. So if you want to grab that one real quick, you should be able to basically join me into the same.
Right, let's try that.
And then you should also be able to like create your own projects or spawn off different ideas from the app itself, so that like both of us can work on this at the same time, which would be, there's your mouse.
Look at that.
That's crazy. Yo, this is
So create a new app.
Yeah.
Should I create a new app while I'm at it? Will you see what I type?
Yeah. I don't know. Let's just, even create a new app and see
yeah.
how your projects are doing down here, right?
Oh, you see me typing down there, right? Yeah,
I
but
think
you don't
so.
see what I'm typing so far.
Oh yeah, bro, that's sick.
Let me see.
No, this
What
is
am I? I'm
crazy.
going to surprise you.
Okay. So someone says the code doesn't work for me. That's because somebody used the code. Let me give you another code, 2080. I'm just dropping codes right now on the fly.
Oh yeah,
Let's
you
go.
do see what I just
So make sure
what I
you
just typed in.
Oh, snap. That's cool. So if you want to invite code, this is the invite code to use right now. The first one to use it pretty much will get eaten up. So I have a limited amount of codes, so I'm just going to keep dropping them as people request. So if you didn't get a code or it doesn't work for you, use this code currently on the screen and let me know if it works. If it doesn't work, then that'll be stuff. That code didn't work. Do I need my email? I think you create an account and then it'll say creator pass or whatever. Or you'll see this little thing up there and just type in this code. So this is pretty cool how I could see your screen. So you gave it a prompt and then...
You've run out of credit for new creations. So I guess it still uses my credits, right?
Oh, interesting. You want to open the credits tab and grab some star power. So go up here to the top right corner and then go to like available credits, I think.
Yeah, I have 0 available credits. So I don't know. I think Javen said he would send me a couple of codes. We'll see. Otherwise, you can just like continue prompting on your own. Like,
oh, cool.
This is cool.
Reebok got the code. That's what's up. Yeah, it says invalid. Tom, let me get you another one here. Tom, go ahead and use this one here. So I'm going to drop another code in the chat. So that way people can see if you can drop this one now that you've created a code here. I know you have to like type this in super fast before someone else gets it. Cool. Getting some folks to use this. We give you credit balls. Yeah. I got the credits. So I guess what's unclear is like I have the credits, but when I shared it, I guess he has to have credits to use this, right? Like he can't use my credits. I think that's kind of what it is. Because I have credits 29,000 or something like that. So if you click the credit balls, do you see them, Manuel?
I don't see credit balls now.
Okay, cool. Well, what was your prompt? See if you can paste it to me and I'll just continue it here.
I was doing like a spaceship. Let me try again and you'll see it.
Okay, cool.
Spaceship battle game to learn arithmetic or something like that, which was literally my very first program that I ever entered into a computer. It was like you had like a spaceship called 5 and your spaceship was 3. And then you had to type 15 to destroy the...
Wow.
So now, and because I wrote it myself, it was like four
you need to open them up.
It just felt so good.
Yeah. So go ahead and go to the credit shop. Yeah. In the credit shop.
So this time open. Oh, I see. Open credit packs. I didn't actually click on that.
Yeah. And then in here.
Skip and open all.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
You can just click them if you want. Oh, okay.
Oh, perfect.
No worries. So, yeah. So your screen here. Yeah. You can. Yeah. Does it do anything?
Come on.
Click them.
No.
Click the balls, bro. You have to break the balls.
Oh, I need to click them really hard.
Yes. Click.
With a single pack, you can create 10 new apps. How many should I get myself?
No. You keep clicking the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
go back to the balls.
Got one pack. It looks like.
No. Go back to open credit packs. Yeah. You'll see.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the balls are on the floor. So go grab one of those balls. Click.
I don't think I can, but I have 30,000 credits, so that's like way more than enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so now go back to the prompt. So that.
All right. So, battleship game to learn arithmetic. All right. Let's see what happens. I'm trying to keep my prompts always like as short as possible because it allows me to explore like variations much more easily.
That's cool. Wow. So yeah, people are asking like, are these codes one-time use because they're not letting me in? Yeah, they're one-time use. So right now, as I'm dropping them live, you can use them. So if you still need some codes, I'm going to drop another one. So I'm going to drop another one right now. Make sure you copy and paste it. See if you're able to get this one here. So let's go ahead and cook. So make sure you use this code right now. Oh, cool. So wait, you just
Cool. So it created a new project and it invited you immediately, right?
oh, that's cool. So yeah, let me show you my screen now. Kind of transition away.
Yeah.
So on my screen here, basically what I'm seeing is I saw like my original project, which is back here for the
Oh, they're still
CodeQuest.
there. Okay.
So now it's actually almost done with these. I like how it's kind of it's almost like a Polaroid picture or something like that, where it just kind of comes into this the screen. And so this is yours right here. So it's building off the same idea, but now we're just kind of adding on to the prompts, right? That's pretty cool, actually. Wow.
I wonder if it's yeah, I wonder if it's going to be no, this seems to be like a totally separate kind of game than
Oh,
yours because they started something new. I wonder if we'll be able to I guess they're like separate branches at this point. I wonder if we can like merge some ideas later on or like because this graph view is like kind of intriguing, right? It's
yes.
like
Yeah, wherever your mouse is. Over
it's
here.
not like just a drop down list. So maybe there's going to be like interesting stuff. It doesn't seem like I can move them around on the grid.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that I can zoom out like by pinching to zoom out, which I see all
Yeah,
of them.
exactly.
But yeah, like I would love to just drag one of them. That's so crazy. But look at what it's got so far. I think this is really interesting. Welcome to CodeQuest. Like this landing page with this thing on the side. I think it's just really interesting what they've been able to do as far as a concept to generate apps. And then it generates not one app, but like four, which is kind of wild if you think about it, you know? This is so
Yeah,
crazy.
what I find interesting is like, oh, look, there's a React error over there. That's interesting. So I guess we're seeing like a live view of the browser as it's building the app.
That's
which
right.
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
what I find interesting is like, so I haven't read up on. Oh, it logged me out. Weird. It is that it seems that the idea is that you can then monetize and deploy these apps directly, right? Like compared to other agents, like say Manus, where you download. I mean, Manus can publish websites, I guess, but
Yeah.
here, like monetization of your apps is immediately built in, like audience management, which is a hard part, right? Like when you vibe code stuff,
Yeah.
doing suddenly authentication and like payments is not something you just want to like YOLO out there.
Right.
So that's pretty interesting, right? It's like that. I find that's really cool, and not something I've seen before in terms of like V0 or Lovable. So, some of them, like
Oh.
Replit allows you to deploy, but it's like
This
not
one's done.
directly meant to have a. Oh, cool. All right, let's try it.
Whoa. Wait, can you see my screen too and like play around with this? Or is it just like in your...
It logged me out, so let me see.
Okay.
No, I don't see your screen, but I do see the finished app, right? Like I can open my own version.
Oh, creator passes unlocked. You've been given some creator passes to invite your friends. Friends, use this code right away. I'm going to copy these so that people can use them. Boop. And then if you're on the stream, go ahead and put them in. So I'm just going to drop these two in the chat right now so that way you can use them. And I'll leave them up. Oh gosh, it didn't come out like I was expecting it. Okay, so I'll drop these here so that way people have them. And I'll just kind of leave these up on the side. So you just use one or the other. And that's kind of what you need to do. All right, let's go ahead and take a look here. All right. Oops. I just totally, let's see.
All right.
Cool. Oh yeah, let me just zoom out my screen. Refresh quick. It's Command 0, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we're over here now. And what I need to do is just kind of get closer to my... Okay, cool. One more. All right. So yeah, this is kind of the app here. And so it says start your adventure view dashboard. Wow. Dude, this is crazy. Okay, I'm super blown away. Holy smokes. So the foundations of LLMs, like Enter Realm. Bro, what? Where did it get these assets?
Yeah, the assets are fun. Those look generated because I can't really understand what they are.
Whoa.
But the ones that I had on mine were pretty wild.
So this is literally a game. This is exactly what I asked it for. Learn about large language models through an epic adventure. And like literally has this sprite of this actual person and then embarking on a journey. So start your adventure, learn by doing. So you say start adventure. It takes me to the world map, which is over here on the left side. And then you could just hit enter realm. And then like I did not even give it any of this detail, by the way. It got super creative by itself and generated all this stuff. Oh my gosh. So hit start quest. And it's like literally a full-fledged game without... See, the problem is, especially with these like Lovable and these other code editors, is like you have to like describe everything in extreme detail. And sometimes you just don't know, right? And I think what Spawn is doing here is basically allowing you to just say, I want this. I don't know. Just you go figure it out. You're the AI. You're smarter than me. And this is a really good use of this. Dang, dude. This is really interesting. Like, I love this because it just removes this extra, like, okay, I have to think about how to be a developer and how to like structure my prompts in a certain way. It just kind of like gets you to think about, oh, let's just try this thing here. So let's start this challenge. Dude, one shot, like it generated this. Challenge not found. Okay. Yeah.
So I wonder at this point, right, is like, do you continue prompting it to say, oh, the challenges don't work?
Yes. Right. Yeah. Because I think it just kind of got us to the start of the challenge and it just didn't get us like to the rest. So that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Or it kind of maybe expects that there's some kind of admin view where you can create the challenges. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like, how did the model in the back come up with all of these stuff? How is the agent structured, right?
Wow. But suggestions for the AI team. Oh, I see. So over here,
that's interesting.
We can make changes saying that like we can actually say, okay, can you actually start making the beginnings of this course? Okay, so that's how you can click to make changes and tell Savi. Gotcha. So in order to do this type of thing, what I didn't realize is at the very top, it says make changes. So by clicking the make changes is kind of where we can tell it to add more details for the course or do whatever we're trying to do. And so this tells us the details of this actual app here. And it tells us...
It actually also tells you what technology it uses, right? It says Next.js, Prisma, and React Query.
Jesus, that's amazing. That's insane. For state management, the architecture is designed for easy explanation of these quests and challenges. And it has an accounts feature. So sign in with Spawn to access their account. And the system protects user data, ensures authorized users, and also has analytics with signups and logins. That is so amazing. So it also is interesting because it gives us suggestions. So learn LLM guilds for collaborative adventures, interactive code laboratory for hands-on learning, advanced realms for deep LLM concepts. So I think interactive code laboratory is the one I'm really interested in. So I'm just going to Spawn. Let's work on interactive code library. So it looks like this is basically a feature. You can get features that are listed. It's like if you have no direction of where to go, you click and hit Spawn and it literally starts working on the next thing. So let's work on the idea. So it says, I guess it's cooking right now. And I'm not sure where I can see this progress, but I think it's going to go ahead and do that type of thing. Does it just go into the next screen or something like that? I guess it's not really clear. So we're still generating all the other apps here. Let's go ahead and go back. This is fascinating. I'm still blown away that like one shot, it just did this whole thing. Enter realm. So let's go ahead and actually make the quest work. So start challenge. Let's actually make up a challenge. Please complete the challenges because it says challenges not found for all of them. Okay. So it says Savi's typing. This looks great. They stood up this so quick. Do they say what their underlying model or framework they use? I don't think they say it. It's probably a combination of a bunch of language models and different agents and stuff like that. I had some codes up. If you scroll through the chats, I should have some. If any of those codes don't work, let me know. Because like the most recent code was this one. So this is kind of one of the codes I'm just dropping right now, just in case. Yeah. Let me see what's on your screen. What are you looking at, right now, Manuel?
I'm playing with the second game that finished, and I'm actually not using one of the suggestions. I'm just going to go into like my coding mode and try to see if I can prompt it to fix the issues that I had. It doesn't seem to be saying like, oh, I'm making changes, stuff like that. So I'm not sure
Oh, wow.
what's going on there. So I also don't know if it's relevant to this make arena. So I'm going to try again and then just see what happens, which is the battle seems stuck after the second response. But so this is kind of like a multiple choice arena. So now I see Savi's typing. So let's see what comes up if I get into like a more traditional kind of coding loop, I guess.
Interesting. Yes.
But it seems to get stuck after that. So I'm going to go try one of the
I suggested
suggestions. Yeah. So is this going to spawn a new app? Is it going to iterate on this one?
Yeah, because like I don't see anything in the details, or like
it could also be like one of the issues that I had with agents is that they often get overloaded in these early times, right, when they have like an onrush of new users.
I see.
That might be what's going on here. That like my requests don't make it, or just like early alpha, because collaborative stuff is pretty hard usually.
I'm kind of impressed.
Otherwise,
how well it works. Yeah.
My other apps are just building.
I love the UI, by the way. Like it's kind of fun with the like little pattern in the background. The layouts would be kind of cool if it kind of got grouped, or you can just kind of, how like in OS, like Mac OS, you can kind of, or like Linux environments, you can just kind of auto group themselves, these window management systems. But I mean, obviously it's like a V1, so it's like they've already done a lot. So these are some of the codes. If you haven't got access to the codes, that's kind of where you can kind of try it out there. You can try a single player canvas. The chat maybe it worked better. Okay. I think, let's see. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose that the multiplayer stuff does add a significant amount of complexity.
I see. Oh,
so
yeah.
We'll see. I'll just let you do stuff, and I'll create like a new project on my own, and then we can switch back and forth, right?
I see.
That could be.
Yeah. So welcome to the LLM battle arena. Yeah. So this is actually one of my apps, which says like created the LLM battle arena. And so enter the arena. This is kind of cool. So what issue can arise when tokenizing text from languages not well represented in the training data?
Now we'll see.
Tokenization.
You know your fundamentals.
I don't know anything, bro. I'm just an app builder. I just vibe, bro. Let's see. So what issue can arise when tokenizing text from languages not well represented in the training? Words are tokenized into too many pieces. Tokens become corrupted? No. This doesn't make any sense. The model refuses to process the text? No. Tokenization.
This is actually kind of relevant for programming as well, by the way. I can show some after that.
Yeah. So I don't think it's this, and I don't think this. Well, tokenization. So I don't think I really understand what the question is. This is kind of my dyslexia part, which I hate so much because I don't really understand what the question is. So what issue can arise when tokenizing text? So you tokenize text from languages not well represented in the training data. So the goal here is to tokenize text, but you're using it from languages not represented. So, okay. So if you're tokenizing text, okay, let me just kind of think about this through first principles. So if you're tokenizing things and it's not in the training data, I guess it would still generate a value, right? Words are tokenized into too many pieces. I think that's kind of what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you switch to my screen, I'll show how that is kind of like relevant for programming actually.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because when you come up with variable names, right? Like if you type an expression like A plus B, you'll see there's like 3 tokens.
Yeah.
So there's A, there's space plus, and there's space B. If I add 2 spaces, you'll see suddenly I have 2 tokens here. I have like a white space token, and then I have like the other space B. And in the early days when you had like really small context windows, this would actually be super relevant. Like if you only have like 2,000 tokens context window, you want to start counting tokens for real.
Yes.
And what's interesting is when you start experimenting with variable names, right? See, so how AB is like probably the same token, but if you use a variable that's called A uppercase B, that's just as much tokens as language ID. So you shouldn't be afraid to use like full words and sentences as variable names. That won't use more tokens than shorter names.
Like
So
especially
I don't think
underscores, like with Python names or something, or like language
so
underscore.
underscores, like, because it's the tokenizer is also like relevant to is trained on a lot of code. Usually underscores don't really make too much difference. But if you start doing things like this, right, like use ID or like weird things, that will start adding more tokens.
Yes.
Which in the early models you can really tell how much of a difference that makes. I think the newer models are much different.
Yeah.
But for example, if you use like a language that's like less present in the training data, right? Like if you have a language, if I have a variable that's called like block language ID, and then if I use the German,
Oh, interesting.
where I say like Tagebuchsprach ID, suddenly you have all these tokens here, and probably these tokens, even though they mean like kind of diary or so in German, will make it more problematic for the model to generate good code, right? Like all of these things add up and start degrading things.
I see. That's why Andre Caparthe says English is the hottest new programming language, and it's because it's the most represented in the like language models, right? Like as far as training goes, and that's kind of like, let's kind of like transition back a little bit. The reason why I spawned this game is because I want to get better at understanding these types of things, because like AI is built off of these foundations, and so the if I can gamify how I learn and understand these things, then I can better explain it to you, but also understand like how to actually train my own models to do the things I want to do. So like this is something I just put into instructions in Spawn, and literally we just created this game. I think it only asked me for like one question, so I don't know what I'm going to do next here. So I have to like continue to build the game out. So that's cool. So like this is kind of why I was really interested in trying to check out Spawn, is because I didn't have to give it like details on the type of game that I wanted, as far as like colors and schemes and the type, like interaction design and all this other stuff. It literally just did it for me. And I think that's kind of one of the magical things about Spawn right now, is the fact that it just kind of does this thing. I'm really curious. I want to check out, this one's still building. This is going to be a visualization game that transforms LLM concepts into interactive networks. So this would be really cool for me to see. So from a learning perspective, literally imagine just being able to talk to this thing and have it generate games for you or generate ways to learn. So that'll be really interesting. Yo, Marcus, I got another code for you. If you haven't had a chance to try, I'm going to go ahead and drop right now. So this is the code I'm going to drop right now. Make sure you copy, paste it, use it, and let me know if it works. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to see if I can drop another one, because a lot of people are trying to use this right now. And for those who are watching, and if you are a member in my Discord, I'll have a couple of codes saved away for you. So that way you can access this as well. But we have enough codes right now to be able to continue to spawn away some stuff, because I know some folks who want to try it as well. So so if you haven't had a chance to go ahead and enter this code, go to, I think it's basically spawn.co, to be able to go ahead and try this. So just to kind of give a summary real quick for those who are just joining in right now, we're taking a look at Spawn. And so this is like a new way to basically just create apps literally just from a basic description. You don't have to spend a bunch of time prompting to say like, I want this fluffy thing over here and I want it in this style and do all this type of thing. So you hold Alt in chat to clear trash icon. Oh, clear chat. Okay. Hold Alt in chat and click trash to clear the chat. Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. And so you can build stuff with Spawn, basically like landing pages. If you want to build landing pages, you can build like a complete SaaS. And this is like a SaaS app right here that somebody built. Like, this is like the quest thing, and you don't have to describe any styles. It kind of spawns off like 4 different iterations, as we've been able to see. And then you can use that to do different things. So this one, somebody made a Health Guardian app. This is crazy. Created by Bailey. I love how people's like profiles things come in here. This is so cool. And so in this health dashboard, it actually tells them like if they've been, taking medications or not. Add some medication reminders and stuff like that. So like this is really cool. And I think they were able to just do it comprehensive heart health tracking app for elderly care monitoring. So this is kind of what they did there. You can respawn this and kind of start your own thing if you wanted to as well. Cool. Thanks. It did work. Cool. Thanks, Marcus. Yeah. And so this is like an example here. You can have utility apps like this, literally just say, I want to do this chemical with this type of thing, and then like do some type of thing here. So this is kind of really blowing my mind how interactive it is, and how you can just, start getting really creative and kind of think more creatively about using AI. And I think that I love this direction of where they're going with this type of thing. So like this is like an app made in Spawn. I can't believe it, right? Like, did you ever think you could make stuff like this, Manuel?
No, not that quickly for sure. I'm more a back-end person, so it's been LLMs have been really great because now I can do pretty fearless like front-end stuff, which is great.
Look at this. Tap and dunk Ashton's face in the ice water for turn points. Bro, no way, bro. Let's upgrade skin quality. Not enough banana peels.
Not enough banana peels.
Let's go.
That's pretty hilarious.
Bro, this is so
think
genius.
That's definitely like one of the cool things about AI is that, right, like as an art form, I don't think it's like generating an image and then saying like, look, this is art.
Right.
Because everybody can do it. It's like the idea of making a game about it and then making it so that it's actually fun to play or so. That's like going to be one of the new kind of art forms, right? Because it's not per se like game design. It's more because there's so many of them, right? It's like not, oh, I made like 3 games in my life. It's
right.
Right. It's like, oh, I spent a weekend making like a fun game about Ashton Hall or something. And so
then
it's much more akin to like drawing a picture or so.
That's true. Yeah, like a sketch. I feel like this is like AI sketching. Yeah, that's a really good point, because I think that was the other thing. It's like you have to think about how, especially for me as a developer, like you want to think about prompting and come this. Like I thought we'd have to go super hard on like, how we express these type of things. But to me, it's just a matter of creativity, of like first getting inspired by other people and what they're doing. But then like also just kind of creating your own thing, which is really awesome. Like just even like these landing pages are pretty cool. I want to see you do a landing page or something.
So I have a bunch of things like going. They take quite a while. So
yeah,
if you're interested, this is a technique that I've been doing quite a bit. This like ideation of front end stuff that I've been refining, especially in the last couple of weeks, right? Like in the last week, I was on vacation, so I started exploring all these like different agent platforms. They're starting to show up, right? Like Manus and Scout, and in this case, Spawn, and more agents also. Just in ChatGPT 03 kind of feels agentic, right? Like if you add MCPs to Claude, it feels like an agent as well. And one of the techniques that I had is so while these things are going, just to show what I asked it to do, I asked it to do like a tax calculator, and actually it's cool. We have our first one here. So I make $8 million a year. 80 million? Yeah, I make $80 million a year, and all right, so that's pretty interesting. It doesn't seem I can do much more, so yeah, I'm cooked. So
make new projects for new
I wonder
ideas.
if I can change it. Yeah, like I want to take my properties across the globe into account. This is not an innocent prompt because I'm starting to think like, oh, will it look up like all the legislation around it,
right?
Especially since it's like international legislation. It's like going to be a little bit more complex, probably out of training corpus. So I'm curious to see what it does here. Let's see if it's, I'm going to wait to see what it answers before I switch tabs just to not break things. This AI spilled some slop. That's fun. So it did that for 2 of them.
Not sure where but while you wait, it asks you interesting questions I'm answering through. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm going to make a new project and we're going to try to do that. So I can also do run multiple projects in parallel. Yes, totally. Yeah.
But so one of the techniques that I had is just like using Claude for that. Right. So you just say like, make a React app for tax calculation or something. And I would open either open many tabs just to get like a, oh, this is a good start today. Why did it say that? But it's still doing it.
It's ruminating.
So I would start like multiple tabs just to get ideas for the UI, and I do keep this prompt like very terse on purpose because I want to explore what it does on its own, right?
I see.
If I told it like, oh, make a sidebar and make this and make that, I kind of constrain the creativity of the model in a way.
Okay.
So I guess today we're just going to not be lucky. It seems it looks like. It's Saturday.
Let me see if I can. I want to see if I can cook something now. So I think I want to make something kind of useful, and something very personal to me. It's like, okay, so what a delightful challenge. Let's brew together some magic and create your own learning game. Okay, so I think it's going to do its own thing. So I'm going to hit create new project here, new project. And so I have a blank new place. Hi, ready to create something new. Few words works, or let's dive deeper. Okay, so I basically, why don't we just do one around content creation, right?
Go ahead.
I basically want to make one to make an app to help me write YouTube scripts. And I need a lot of help with writing really good hooks. And also I want to make vlog style content around using AI. Yes. Okay. Let's go. All variants failed. Maybe I don't have enough credits, but I guess I should ask for credits. Oh, that's weird. Yeah. We'll see.
Could also be that all the model providers are a little bit overloaded right now.
Yeah, because we're all trying to bang on it right now at the same time. That's a really good point. So I think this is supposed to be cooking right now. Is it? Let's see. Yes. Yeah, so we're gonna let it see it do its thing. I think. Create a new app. So this is
that was one of the issues that I ran into with pretty much all the agent platforms. Is this if there's an underlying technical issue, often they try to fix it themselves, even though it's out of their control. Right. So I had Scout this morning. I had to do a pretty extensive research on how to build dashboards in R Shiny, and it did a really good write up, and then it hit some kind of API error. And it tried to fix it over and over. And then at the end, it was I'm just going to create the files with echo. And it just destroyed everything it did before.
Oh, wow.
So that's an issue that I saw that's pretty common where you kind of have to be, I think it's not easy to build on the agent side to separate. These are legit issues that you could fix. And these are issues that are out of your control and not have it. It's the same in coding and Cursor, right? If you have the linter is not set up correctly, and then you have Cursor try to fix the linting errors that are out of its control, it will just destroy your code base.
Wow. This is really interesting. It's even got the dark mode. This is...
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Damn, dude, this thing is cracked. So obviously there's a bug. Fix the bug. Fix the bug. When starting the challenge. Let's see, I don't know if it says anything. Yes. Oh, yeah, I think there's just a lot of people using it right now. 3 out of 4 failed. Do you have one more code? Yeah, let me drop another code for you real quick on the stream here for everyone who's just watching.
Yeah, mine failed as well. So I think there's probably some load issues on the back end.
Yeah.
But I got my tax calculators going.
Yeah, let's take a look here. So, okay, so that kind of failed. AI spilled some slop. Let's go. Dude, is this the one you made for Number Fleet? Is this you?
I guess so, yeah. This is the Battleship game for learning arithmetic.
Dude, this is sick. This is crazy. Hold on. Let me move this down here. Let me know if you're able to use this code, because I think that should work for you, WFS, QFS. Oh, I think that one won't work because I already dropped that. No, actually, that will work, actually, because I haven't dropped that one yet. So, okay. Let's take a look. So it says, your fleet, get ready for battle. Click new game to start. Okay, so difficulty level, let's do easy. New game. Solve to fire the cannon. So 10, right? Fire. So what happens? So this is my fleet, and then I don't know what happens next. I guess it works. Fix the bug starting the challenge. Oh, I guess it's still in the previous one. Huh. I guess there's still some division destroyers. Let's see what other one you made. This is another arithmetic one. Play the game. Wow. Settings, tutorial. Huh. Calculation. Play the game. Move. Fire.
Yeah, it's interesting to because we're really at the beginning of these agent platforms, right? That try to do a lot automatically, and I am pretty sure. I mean, obviously, it being the early days, like this stuff is going to get better, and I've been thinking quite a bit about what this means for like software in general, right? Like if suddenly you do this like kind of software sketching, but you still want to do at some point you need to do an oil painting or something like that, right? Which then will require some much more focused effort. Just like where's the handover? If you start, if you make, it's nice to generate like all of this stuff in 15 minutes, but then if afterwards I have to wait 2 minutes just because I want to like, have like a different gradient or so.
Yeah.
Suddenly that tool doesn't work all that much anymore, right? And suddenly, like, it's much easier for me to just like change a gradient in Cursor or in a plane editor, for that matter. And the more powerful these platforms become,
yes,
the more it shifts this boundary, right? Which is, or you could say for a lot of things, you could just like, I don't care about the gradient, right? Like this is not the point of the app that I'm building, and you just go with whatever the model did, even if it's not fully what you expected. And that's at the crux of this vibe coding thing right now, right? Where a lot of people want to fully control the output and be like, I want to decide everything that happens the way I did it before. Like especially like senior engineers are like, yeah, but it didn't use this framework. Like I don't want it to have this menu on the left. I want it on the right. And that stuff takes time, right? It's not easy to prompt an agent to say like, well, move it to the right, depending on what the task is. And I see vibe coding as like, you still care about the result, but you don't necessarily care about how it's done.
That's right. Yeah. You just kind of, yeah. I get this. Marcus says that's why other platforms have traditional simple ways like to change something. Yeah. Which makes a lot of sense, as far as like how the stuff works in our life.
That's why I'm curious about this one, right? Because this one really seems to be very, very minimal in terms of the control you get.
Yeah, because like I would love to go in and fix that error. It's like, hey, what's the error? Like, can I tell it like from the console logs? But yeah, it's kind of trying to maybe find that balance of like, is there like an advanced mode toggle that I can toggle to get that, to fix it for me? That'd be really cool, actually. This is cool. So this is supposed to like get to a YouTube script helper. So it's going to make variations on like focusing on those killer hooks for AI vlogs. Perfect. So yeah. This is awesome. So for those who don't know, this is all like, I'm actually going to start a 100K challenge. So that means I'm going to start to basically make my first money online. And I've been talking and using a lot of these AI apps frequently. And the other thing is like, I actually really haven't like made like serious life-changing money using AI yet. And I feel like I have that opportunity to do that. And I've seen so many people just like, oh yeah, I just like put in a couple prompts in ChatGPT and now like I'm blowing up making millions. And so I feel like if these AI tools are supposed to generate economic value, why don't I follow along a challenge like this guy from Starter Story did and says he's basically just going to use these AI tools to make his first $100,000 online. And I think that's a really good stretch because that's like life-changing enough where you don't really, it's kind of like turns your side hustle to almost like, if you can get to 100K, then you could probably get to like 150K to 200K, to like $1 million to, your first like 10 million and so forth, and keep that going at that trajectory. So as a person who has an engineering background, it's like really hard to like do the marketing thing and approach that from that side of things because I've never done that before. I've never ran my own businesses. I didn't grow up around that stuff. So I'm basically starting that May 1st. So I definitely want you to stay tuned in. If you're watching this right now, make sure you subscribe because I'm going to be starting that type of challenge and kind of be building off these AI tools. And so we're going to use everything we can in our tool belt as far as like AI stuff. I have like an O1 Pro subscription. So I'll be using like the $200 a month stuff. I have a Cursor subscription. I got Windsurf. I mean, I got everything that I could possibly get as far as subscriptions, and we're going to be leveraging the most powerful models to help us get there. And so you're going to be watching step by step on live stream as I'm building and going through these types of challenges, and you're going to learn with me. And hopefully you can build alongside me. You could even build your own app or whatever problem you're trying to solve. So the app that I'm going to be using is called RayTranscribes.com. I started this on a live stream last year. I literally accidentally built the fastest transcribing system for video, because this is something I need as a content creator. I literally just have these hour-long, 3-hour-long live streams, and I want to generate transcripts from it. So I built this on a live stream, and I had people sign up, and so I had 10 people sign up, and they used it, and they gave me some bunch of feedback, and I kind of made that. And as of right now, I just have like 3 paying subscribers, and I want to scale this up. And I want to see if I can take this to make my first 100K. So within this app, it's pretty cool. So we go to app. When I use this app, it's like really, really fast. And so one of the advantages of using something like this, it's like I have something that's already proven. People are already giving me money for it. And not only this, I don't know if you realize, but like building apps like this is basically the gateway drugs into like the next thing. So once you have a transcript for like a live stream or a video or something like that. So for example, I have this like live stream with, I think is an hour long. So I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to do a fast transcription. Once you have this text, you can generate like blog posts from it. You can generate like scripts. You can have it sound like you if you're trying to make like a YouTube thing. So what I'm having Spawn do right now in the background is going to say, create a YouTube script writer basically. And I want to like just feed it some of my previous live streams and then see if it can make scripts out of it and so forth. So utilizing these types of things, I've already built this app and it's already like transcribing this type of thing. I should be able to feed it my transcripts and then, do this extra stuff with it. So the first step as a content creator is get your stuff from the audio into text, and then you can feed these into the language models. So just like that, we have the whole transcript for like an hour long into like a text file. And we also have an SRT file as well. And then, from these types of things, you're able to kind of leverage and do cool stuff with it. So if you go to like Claude or something, go to chats, you can just say,
I think Claude's having trouble right now. I just got like an SMS from their status thing. So try it. But my Claude is down. I suspect depending on if Spawn uses Sonnet, that they might be running into the same issue as well.
I see. Okay, so I have a live stream blog post. So I'm going to show you how good O3 is, because O3 is awesome. I'm going to paste this in here because I have a whole thing to basically, from a live stream, it's going to just generate a blog post. So it's going to go through so this is it. Like literally generates a whole...
How did you do the prompt? Like, how did you do this?
Oh, so on O3, all you do is...
you've got a GPT?
No, you can generate a new project. And then so with the project, it just basically allows you to group all of your chats in here.
Gotcha. And you've got instructions that you uploaded as a file. Gotcha.
Yeah. So the instructions
Very cool.
are this basic little prompt. And so you just paste it in here and then it does the whole thing for you. So yeah, just in one shot, basically it just generated from this transcript from the live stream for like an hour-long live stream. Look at this long live stream. Like that's all the whole transcript. That's massive, right? Like we generated like a full-on blog post. And this is kind of my content creator workflow that I want to do. But I'm going to try to see if I can scale this up. And this is going to be part of like that 100K challenge. I feel like this is going to be super helpful for everyone. So someone throw us some typers a bone with a Spawn app code. Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you. So see if you can use this code right now, if you can get to Spawn up. So make sure you use the code fast, because I just dropped the code right now. And let me know if you're able to use it. If not, I'll send you another one as well. So the only platform that will survive are the ones that you can extract the underlying Git repo, I believe. So if you can work on the same code base from different angles and use the right tools. Yeah, so I think it depends, Marcus, because Marcus is bringing up some interesting points as far as like how would a platform like this, work in the long run if you're not able to get the code out, and so forth. So yeah, I think this is kind of what's happening. Is that yeah,
Yeah, I think platforms that allow you to get the code are obviously going to be really important because for people like us who are engineers, that's like the way to go forward. But I think if you have something that as a self-contained thing, for example, what Spawn CO is going for is that if you're able to create like a decent app and then have like this monetization functionality that is a pain in the ass to build, potentially, or even integrate with like an existing one. If it's like a self-contained thing and you pay like $15 a month and you can create like 3 games a month, then like why would I extract the source code, right? Because I think it's just like a very different like commoditization thing that suddenly code and apps are going to be content just as what are the common SaaS that people use.
Say that again. So code and apps will be content. So that's a very different paradigm. Yeah. So let's kind of dig into that just a little bit while we're waiting for some of the app generations because they're kind of failing due to Claude's like limits and stuff. I think
Claude is down.
I heard this brilliant analogy and I love the whole cooking analogy. So this is kind of what really resonated with me. So think about this for a second. Imagine that you only were able to experience dining by going out to restaurants. Like in your entire life, that's all that happened. And this revolution called AI came into existence and allowed you to have a kitchen to make the same food that you would normally get at a restaurant, but you can do it in your own home now. So you don't have to go out to get food or go to a restaurant to get whatever you want. You can make anything you want now in your own home. So that's like a kitchen. So are today's kitchens destroying restaurants? No, not at all. In fact, people still want to go to restaurants. They don't want to make all that food at their own house. You have various degrees of people who want to like control everything. And you have other various degrees of things that like, they just, sometimes you just want to go out for whatever. And I feel like this is kind of the age that we're in right now. And how you're saying how people just on a weekend, it's like going to a restaurant. Like I want to just experience a really good pizza. I don't want to spend like 3 hours preparing a gluten-free dough, heating up my pizza oven for an hour, using all that energy to do all that stuff. I just want something that's self-service. I can go, it's the same quality. I'm going to go give them their money and support that business because they're consistently good. I want to reward them. So AI, I feel like is kind of that thing. It's going to just explode everything else out in every single direction. So people are selling us, all these different tools and stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of the direction we're going in, right?
I think it definitely does for code, right? It's like it's the thing that commoditizes code. And one thing I'm kind of a utopian on all of that, right? Which is I think the cooking parallel is really interesting. And when you start cooking by yourself, I'm not a cook, but I did like a little bit of cooking. Suddenly you start to appreciate the skill that goes into like a full-blown restaurant meal much more. I think like a lot of foodies who cook at home and even get really serious about it, they're also the people who are going to go out and drop like 200 on the tasting menu, right? Because
that's right.
They got this like growing skill on how to do that. And I think with code and building app, it's going to be the same where, you can spend an afternoon and build like a pretty decent game, say like, that's amazing. And then you use the game that someone who's like serious about it and has made it their job is doing, right? Who has like their library of prompts, their like assets, and they're able to spend 10 hours a day refining one thing. Then suddenly we're going to be like, yeah, I'll pay $50 for that. Right.
Right.
It's like,
yeah, it's like, it's very well thought out.
Necessarily disappear.
Yeah. Like I would pay a lot of money to play Final Fantasy VII again, because like, I feel like that was a defining game in my, like, even though I couldn't afford that gaming system, I went over to my friend's house and just watched him play. I was like, damn, that was cool. Like the detail of everything that happened in that era was really interesting. And this kind of has this like nostalgic feeling to me. So Hot Stuff is asking, do we have another code? Guess what? I got another code for you. So everyone who's been staying on the stream, we've been dropping codes left and right. You can go ahead and use this. It's spawn.co, spawn.co. Type in this code right now. and you'll be able to use the app. I still have a couple more to give away and stuff, so make sure you stay tuned in. As people are trying to try this app right now, let me know. Just drop a comment in the chat, and then we'll just kind of put that up in there for you as well. So I think the Archimedes was able to get into the whole thing, get the app as well. So yeah, to figure out the process of monetization in the app itself. Yeah. So I think a lot of us who haven't launched a business, I think there's so many different resources to learn from. And so part of my the 100K challenge is going to be to actually reach out to some of these AI builders and people who are actually already successful at marketing apps and stuff, and interview them just like this in my live streams and ask them these questions like, hey, this is where I'm at in my journey. Here's my guidance of where I should be going. Does this even make sense, right? Because sometimes these AI systems may be a little bit behind, right? Because it's been trained on older data, and maybe the techniques that are working today in real time, like TikTok content or whatever types of things, could work a lot better. And so that's kind of how we steer the ship. So for me, I'm using AI to kind of point my ship into where is north and where should I be headed, and then as I'm going through my little journey, I can only see so far. So these other people are going to help me kind of, unlock these other steps, and I'm going to learn by putting this stuff out there. So I think that'll be kind of like a fun type of thing to kind of get going to build the apps and stuff like that. So let me know if you need some more codes. We're going to kind of take a look and see how this stuff is going. For those who are just joining in, we're basically playing around with this thing called Spawn. And it's basically a new way to create apps and games. And all you have to do is just give it a description saying, I want this type of thing. So I want to track my meals. I want to track, some specific metrics for like my growth rate, or create this dashboard to do this type of thing. And what Spawn does is it'll take your project and create like 4 different types of creations from it. And for me, I said, I want to learn about large language models. I want to make a game that kind of makes it a little bit interesting to do this type of thing. And this is the app that it makes. It literally makes the whole landing page for it. It made a whole dashboard to track the progress for it. It even has like the achievements that are built in, including all of the assets. And I did not have to give it extra prompts to generate this other stuff.
Try your prompts again. So I think that's a funny way to determine what models different platforms are doing, is like, see if Claude's down, which other platforms are down. Like Scout was down, and I guess Spawn, and now they're kind of back up because I think Claude's back up.
Okay. Yeah.
And Manus wasn't down, so I think they use more GPT kind of models.
Interesting.
And it helps now also explain how Manus feels different from say Scout, because Scout is like super, super eager, right? Like it does a shit ton of stuff because I think it's probably using 3.7, which is kind of this eager model.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would try those again. I think if they work again, then there probably is some Claude in there.
Interesting. Okay.
At least.
Wow. Yeah, because let's see. Try again. It's typing. Cool. Okay. I like the screen. I kind of like just the overall feel of this. This thing is really, really cool.
Yeah, I think a differentiator is also just going to be like the vibe of different apps, right?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
And I can see it. Like, there's a ton of websites to do like things like Canva or just like buying assets for like slides and things like this, or like photos. And there's this parallel of like, if you pay more, you can get like your vector file and you get your Adobe Illustrator export. But you can also very much stay at the level of like, I just want a PNG for my slide deck today, right? And I think if you move that to like, oh, code's going to be a commodity like that as well, or like starting to already be, you will have people just like, I just want my PNG, right?
I see.
And then other people are like, oh, give me the assets, give me like a license for XYZ, give me, there's going to be like the question of IP is pretty interesting and all of that, which is, what is IP when so much of it is now generated? Because I don't copyright my pixel colors when I do an image, right?
That's right. Wow. Says, I would like to see the chat history of each project. I agree with this. At the moment, I can't see my initial prompt for a project in Spawn. Yeah, I think that would make sense to me, because that's the way I think about my projects. So when I select, for example, the first one, I just kind of want to see the chat history specifically for this app. As of what Javen explained, you the actual assistant has access to all of the apps. So you can explain saying, for the, I think this was called the side quest. I even forgot the name. CodeQuest LLM. So I guess you'll say for CodeQuest LLM, can you make these changes? And it should be able to make those changes. So I'll say, for CodeQuest LLM, can you actually make the quests work? I don't know, did it go through? Okay. So enter realm, start quest, start challenge. I could just say the challenges are empty.
Chat with the alt. If you do alt and then the trash box, just to make sure that there's no state that's like saved somewhere or something like that.
Okay. So I have to hit the alt button. This little trash can shows up, and I could just say, okay, what would you like me to make?
Yeah. Just to reset stuff, just to make sure.
Okay, that makes sense. And I could just say, there are no challenges found in my something quest LLM. What's the name of this thing again?
What Mark is touching upon, I think, is interesting too, right? Like if you don't see the chat history and you're like at this very high level that Spawn gives you, you don't have the control, which can be pretty nice, right? Like if I to take the comparison to like buying Shutterstock assets or stuff like that. When I buy an asset, I can't get better except choosing better assets.
Yes.
But if I have, say the chat history or so, I can improve as a prompter because I will be able to have more context on what I might have done wrong or so.
Yes.
So it's like maybe more similar to like, drag and drop kind of graphics creators online. And then obviously if you want to become really, really good, you buy like a programming book and you learn more and you go to Cursor, right?
That's right.
But so this presentation of like more under the hood is also what allows you to become a better prompt engineer.
That's a really good point.
And so some platforms will just like not do that because the target audience that they have doesn't care about becoming better at something.
Facts.
And then other platforms are going to be like, there's a level of skills involved that we do want to nurture so that people do more amazing things with it, right?
Cool. This is like it's going to take 10 minutes to fix the challenges missing in the LLM adventure game. That's pretty awesome. That's awesome. And then I noticed there's these little pencils here. So you can actually like do different things. So when I click one, I guess it still has the context of all of my other apps within this whole session, which is kind of what you're saying. If I hit alt and click the trash can, it kind of focuses it maybe down on specific app itself.
I'm not sure. Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay. But yeah.
Oh, and then now it's starting to use the graph. Okay, that's interesting because we were kind of stuck at that stage before.
Yeah,
right?
I had to hit the alt and hit the trash can to basically clear out any previous state, and because it kind of just combined it in one. And then this project can be shared. So if you hit invite link, you could basically kind of invite your friends. So we are both in this one project. And then I have a new project that I started for YouTube Script Studio, which is basically here is trying to generate the Script Studio because there was an issue with the Claude models being down. And so a simple script log builder for hook suggestions. So I'm going to be doing that because I want to make content creation like a lot easier for not only myself, but for other people. And so, yeah, one of the projects that I did in Claude was basically make something to generate YouTube titles based off of this like really massive prompt. And so, yeah, like I can just say, like, for the example, for the one for a live stream for entrepreneurs, I just basically made one up for Spawn. And so here's what's interesting. I didn't really like Claude Sonnet's generation here. I actually preferred ChatGPT's version. So in ChatGPT, I was able to basically make a new project called YouTube titles. And what I did was I gave it those same instructions, which is really awesome. And then I just gave it, my conversation that I was having about the live stream for Spawn. And I saw it, and what it does when I use the O3 model, the O3 model is like literally my favorite model. It's probably the only reason why anyone should pay for Pro is literally just to have unlimited chats with O3 because I feel like the level of intelligence and its thoroughness is really, really good. So it iterated through all of this information that I had about this, about Spawn, about my thoughts for, what I wanted as far as like words I was going to choose for my thumbnail. And it gave this whole breakdown for like the thumbnail text for 1 or 2 words. and then like the stuff for the YouTube title, like what elements are in there. And then I want, what I wanted as well. And it gave me these options for the title, and even worked with the number of characters that I needed, because if the title is too long for YouTube, it basically gets truncated when you're looking at it on a mobile device. So it looked through all these rules, and it even has some reasoning behind it as well. And it gave me these 2 titles. So I was like, first look spawn builds apps for you. Easy. This is exactly what I want. This is the name of this actual live stream based off of this exact project. So I want to build this spawn app that's basically being spawned right now as we speak, to help me with like these YouTube titles and YouTube content stuff, because it would be kind of cool. Because basically I just want to be able to give it these transcripts. So like, for example, for this transcript that I have with Prince Kanuma for the MLX stuff, I can go to YouTube titles and I could just say, let's go ahead and create a new YouTube title. So I'll go to YouTube titles. And so I could just say, please generate a title off of this transcript. And so it should be able to go through, and this is using the O3 model, and it's thinking through, and we're going to see the power of ChatGPT O3. I can't tell you how like blown away I am with this model. It's so damn good. Yeah. Apple's MLX Go Mine ship offline. What happened to all the other details? Can you show the details?
Did it maybe not catch on to the instructions? Maybe
I don't think so.
Like if you go back and say, please generate a title of this transcript using the instructions.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Using the instructions file, something like that.
Oh,
I think it probably didn't like pull in the file.
Yeah. So let's see.
It's hard to say how these things work, right? Like it's annoying will they pull in the RAG? Will they not? What memory will it use?
I see. Let me give it at the top too. So
yeah, the bracketing. Was that 403 that they said you should bracket? Like that was one of the techniques for early models. Bracketing was really important.
Markdown's also pretty important too. So I'll just say
I use -- which usually works pretty well to separate like content from instruction.
Goal is to generate a title based off the transcript below. Okay. Let's see. Purpose at the top. Always use transcript. It depends. Like I've always used the markdown, because in the actual thing, they actually say markdown is preferred. Those XML tags kind of are, it can vary. And a lot of times markdown works extremely well for this type of thing. Can you go back? So we were talking about this before, right? Like it's like when prompting goes wrong is the moment to learn about prompting. Yes, especially for the model. Yeah,
I would suggest like if you edit this.
Yes.
And I would change a few things, but then it's vibes.
Let's do it.
If you put a -- after the goal.
Yeah.
Right. And then also, and previously before the goal, also say like use the instructions in the project or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't know exactly how to prompt it to kick in this.
Yeah.
And then take these 3 lines and paste them at the end as well.
So I'm just going to do this. Use instructions project.
Yeah, exactly. And paste that at the bottom as well after a -- I'm not sure if -- is like the best way to separate that, but it's always worked well. And then the Claude models do really well with XML.
That's interesting. Yeah, and then we'll try the Marcus method with like encapsulating to transcript with the XML tag.
Yeah, and that's my recommendation. Like I saw the Alchemists, if you pull up their comment, asking for like what's for vibing with the most recent APIs and packages, any pro tips. So my first thing is like the model doesn't matter as much as people think it does. There's like a couple of things to learn per model. Is like mostly how do you prompt a certain model to do certain things, which is what we're showing. Like how do you separate the transcript from XYZ? That matters per model. And then for using the most recent APIs and packages, what I do now is, especially with O3, and maybe you can open a new tab, right? You were talking about this text to speech, or I mean, you can choose any kind of package that you want. What I now very often do is take a GitHub repo link, for example, right? So now it was able to pull in the instructions, right?
Yeah. And so the instructions are clarifying the topic that I want to have. So, yeah, I think I need to refine my instructions because I don't think, yeah. So Claude Sonnet, I don't think it would do the same thing. Let's see. Let me go back to here.
Yeah, there's definitely like very strong, especially separating instructions from content, and then especially content being about instructions, right? It's like you have like a meta transcript because you're asking an LLM to edit the transcript of a discussion about LLM transcripts or something like that. That's always been pretty tricky, and like Claude is better at that than other models. Like Gemini is very easy to confuse. Claude is really good at separating instructions from
Look at that.
stuff that looks like instructions but isn't.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So part of my instructions is to ask the user before we begin any analysis on like what is my primary audience, who I should be focusing this on. So I could just say, this is for engineers and developers who are working with the MLX models and they want to learn more about how to use this into their apps. And then so, and I haven't even enabled extended thinking, by the way.
I'm going to share my screen like while I'm at it, just to, since it's a question about programming with AI from Archimist, might as well jump on it.
For sure.
Do you have any kind of suggestions for a package that you might want to use that's like modern? I'm going to use the DIA model, right? Like the DIA TTS model.
Oh yeah.
Because it's recent, so it's definitely not in the training corpus. There's a GitHub repo here, and so what I'm going to do is, since this is something that I can't just like plop into Cursor and say like build something with it, what I'm going to say in O3 is like build a whole tutorial on how to build apps with DIA. And because what I want for the model is like, right, like I want to build an application with the model to do XYZ. So the perfect document for the model to be able to build an application with this package XYZ is the file how to build an app with this. do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So I'm kind of like pre-munching the work as much as possible, but in this case, with something that's able to search the web, with something that's able to analyze the repo, with something that like kind of do a lot of stuff agentically on its own. And then the resulting file I can like put into my project. And depending on how precise and prescriptive it is, I can actually use small models like 4.0 Mini, because they're just going to copy paste stuff out of the tutorial and like maybe add, you know, and so those things are really, really effective. And I think of it like this file is going to be like cached computation, right? Like it's in a way, it's like cached understanding of this pretty messy repo.
Wow.
And, and then this stuff like with O3, it's like, I would do it before, right? But like if you give this to a pretty stupid model, it's still going to be able to run all of these steps, right? Like, because it literally just copy pastes them out of the file. And then maybe it will see like, oh yeah, I need to add it into a function. I need to do all of this. So if I take this file here.
So what was your prompt again? Can you show me the prompt? It says build a whole tutorial. It's on the left side. I see it now. Build a whole tutorial on how to build apps with DIA. Bro, that's crazy.
Yeah. My
Wait, can you do that like with documentation, like the polar.sh documentation? I'm curious.
I can. Let me use GPT-4o Mini, right? And it's like make a little web app that uses DIA when hit over REST API, right? Like this is the kind of stuff now that I want to glue two things together.
Oh, I see.
That are not easily glued together with code, right? Like I still need to adapt patterns, but these patterns are well known. And now if I add,
so you literally got the tutorial from the O3 model. Now you're feeding into a different model, the O4 Mini, because it's really good at instruction following with reasoning. So you're just saying, okay, now
this is 4.0 Mini is like it's not O4 Mini, it's 4.0 Mini.
Oh, 4.0 Mini. See,
I'm doing it on purpose just to show like, oh, you can switch now that you have pretty good instructions created by a powerful model.
Yes.
But it doesn't even matter to be the model. You can write those instructions by hand, or maybe a project has good documentation, right?
Wow.
But then small models are able to do a pretty good job. So I'm
Oh,
not sure that this is going to be super good, but it's able to like merge together the fast API with that kind of stuff and give you,
that's so
right? It's like,
crazy. That's amazing.
so that's how I deal with like unknown packages and stuff like that. Usually what I do is, now that we have O3, I just put the GitHub link and say like, make a tutorial, please.
Wow.
And before that, or if you don't have access to O3, what you can do in say Cursor or Windsurf, it doesn't matter, is clone the repo, add it as a folder to your workspace. Either just point the agent at it and say like, look, that's the latest code, like please figure it out.
Wow.
Or you can do a pre-step where you ask the agent, hey, make me the tutorial, look, it's in this folder.
Oh.
Please figure this out.
Wait, so I can also do that with repo prompt. So I could just give it the whole repo, copy and paste that prompt into O3, because then it'll have the entire repo. I don't have to rely on agent parsing like only the first 100 lines of each type of file. It'll literally have it all in its context. Bro.
Yeah.
And all you said
so
was
that's why I was always
your prompt
like,
was make me a detailed tutorial on, let me see your prompt again.
on the thing do you want to do, right? It's like, so in this case,
Very
I was
simple.
just like, oh, make it general, but I could
Make a whole
if I
tutorial
wanted
on
to
how
do this,
to build apps with you. That's it. That's all.
to
Wow.
simulate dialogues. Like if I had something more specific, right? Like to simulate dialogues between three monsters in a cabin. I don't know. You can do stuff like that, right? Which is much more specific, especially if you have like a big library like Redux Query or something like that. Like I don't want it to give me a tutorial on every little feature in Redux Query. I actually, that's a, while I'm talking about it, it's like make me a tutorial on how to use RTK query to sync my e-commerce products with the endless scrolling product view in my front end, right? So because it's not going to generate code to do it, right? Like I say, like, oh, make a tutorial.
Okay.
Is that it's much easier for me to review.
Yes.
Or like I can say like, well, I don't think that's fully true in the middle section. If you know a little bit more words, so
you can point it to
easily
like
correct it by
documentation,
yourself.
and I'll go ahead and like do that. I got you. Yeah, that makes sense and stuff like that. Oh wow.
And also the worst case, if the models just like don't seem to get it, or you're having a bad day, that's the document that I want as a developer to actually do the thing, right? So that I can make some coffee and say like, okay, well, we'll do it by hand. I have a really nice tutorial on how to do it. I don't need to figure all of this out by myself. So those,
got it.
If you look at my
check this
repo,
out. One of my things, one of my spawns just finished. Let's see if we can take a look.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Let's take a look at that.
So this is the AI story crafter. So this is based off the YouTube hooks. So enter a topic for like the hook generation, and it should give me a hook for whatever I want to do. So I could just say computer vision, generate hooks. Select the hook from the generator.
It probably has like, I wonder if you could have prompted it to say like, oh, make mock endpoints, which is what I often do when I think this is a really nice, the fact that it generates 4 right from the get-go, it really is like some kind of like sketching agent, right?
Yes.
Because what I often do, like what you can show is like open your AI story crafter again.
Yeah.
And just take a screenshot of that layout. Right. And then you can open Claude or your like cursor. But if you go into Claude, then say like, oh, make a mock version of this.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this here.
Except if you were in cursor, you could say like, make a real version of
this.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. So I could just drag this in and say, make a mock version of this.
Boom. Yeah. The word mock is important, right? Like, just because this has like LLM calls into it. And I think a big problem for all of these agent platforms is going to be, how do you allow the user to give you credentials to many things?
So I could do the same with V0. I'm just really curious, right? So like if I go to desktop,
exactly.
I could just say,
I'm not a V0 user, so it's probably V0 is probably more apt. for that.
Yeah. And let's get creative with this one because V0 is really good at design. So let's get, what's a cool prompt to kind of flip this to make it more fun?
Psychedelic.
Make this psychedelic.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's just see what happens. I'm just really curious now. So we're letting Claude cook. We're going to let V0 cook. Everything's cooking in here today. So let's see what else.
Another interesting thing you can do is if you go to O3.
Yeah.
With your screenshot.
Yeah.
And so paste your screenshot, and then what you can say is like research HCI papers for alternative interfaces for this and write a report.
Research what?
Right, like research HCI, like human-computer interfaces.
Oh.
Research HCI ideas for this app.
Okay.
And so now O3 will do its like pseudo deep research kind of thing. You can also turn on deep research, and it will give you a list, and then that I paste back into Claude. That's what I did yesterday with a lot of like, actually for exactly the same, actually I can show you because it was actually for exactly the same thing that you're building.
Wow.
Which is taking my transcripts and building stuff with it. So if I go to my OpenAI,
there's so much sauce in this video. It's so crazy. Wow.
So which one was it? Man, I make way too many innovative UI concepts. For LLM.
I think some people will want some codes. Let me go ahead and drop another code on you.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you're watching in the chat right now, you need a code. Definitely use this one right here that I'm just dropping in the chat. So yeah. I'll make it a little bit smaller.
So my workflow yesterday, which is like literally the same thing that you do, is like brainstorm innovative UI concepts for web apps to transform my transcripts into blog posts and YouTube shorts. Look online is just to make sure it searches, and then I just gave it like some kind of starting points to look. So here it started searching like HCI papers, right? Like you can see it goes to like CHI conference and all of those kind of things. It looks at like Opus Clip. It like starts looking at more. And then it gave me like a whole list of different ideas. Right. And what I did then is write a set of 3 UI concepts that are self-consistent and that we can prototype just to like consolidate all this like orgy of ideas. Then I had 3, which I had like as transcripts, right? Like I have a full spec for an app idea on how to build these things. And I took them to Claude to basically prototype them. So if I go into Claude, what do we have here? Transforming Scream transcripts to content, and then you get these like different mockups of what this could look like. Oh, this was one of the shitty ones. Let me see.
That's really cool. Dang.
And I make way too many of this stuff. Let me see. Crafting effective agent prompts. No, topic filter transcript studio UI. Right, you get like all these different ideas that, of course, don't really work, and I don't really care about the fact that they work. I just like kind of want to get a feel of is this actually worth building?
Interesting. I like this idea.
And okay, so this one, see, it like kind of works. This one is one of the worst one. There were some that were really good that I then actually built. Right, it's let me see if the yeah, I think this one was like pretty cool, which is if I manage to, let's use that as a transcript. And then it makes like a mock API, right? Like this is not real.
That's crazy.
But I kind of like that. And then you can say like, make this into a blog post or use like xcheck shitpost kind of style. Like this one was supposed to be, you can drag and drop like different styles on here.
Wow.
Right, but I just generated so many of them.
Interesting.
Until I kind of like latched onto one that I really wanted to build out. And then that one I kind of like took into Cursor and then refined. And so this one actually works, which is pretty nice.
Wow. And then you hook it up to your API endpoints and then like let it do its thing. So here's mine.
No,
I just
this is,
finished.
I love my purely front end kind of things. I use
see.
local storage a lot.
Ah, okay.
And then I use clipboard or export quite a bit.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so you
Right.
put it into the language model. Dang, this is such solid advice. So check mine out. So here's the
All right, let's go ahead.
story crafter that Claude generated, and it's totally like, not really that good. Here's V0's
it's a
like
little bit wonky,
psychedelic one, which kind of looks kind of psychedelic, I guess. Show formatting.
Yeah, I think often these like psychedelic just like changes the look, which can be pretty fun. To really change the UI concept, I found like researching ideas on O3, right? Like if you now take one of these ideas, paste it in, select transform it to have like a dyslexia friendly toggle was like a pretty good idea that I saw scroll past.
Yeah, right here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Offer a dyslexia friendly call. So I could just say,
I put it back into V0, right?
yeah, this whole thing. I'll just copy it.
No, just like the one idea. If you put too many in there, it just like gets confused. But, like,
okay.
I like the neurodiversity one. Like I don't know what that will look like. And even that might be a little bit too much, right? Like the voice input micromodal is not something I want to give the model to latch onto.
Right. Oh, I see what you mean. So
that really depends on the models, right? Like, or the agent. Some agents do fine when you give them like 18 tasks and some don't.
Yeah, so we're going to do this type of thing. And then I'm going to just give this massive one to, actually, what I'm going to do is like, here's some research ideas and like, I'm going to do extended thinking.
Yeah.
So extended thinking, I'm going to say, here are some HCI research ideas to improve this app.
It's funny. I would just paste it in and press enter. Just be like, I don't care. It will do something.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's like thought process. The user has shared a document. The document includes several sections. It's like, okay. I'm just really curious to see what it's going to do.
You might run out of tokens, or it might, right? Like I was talking earlier before the stream as well, that the token window, I don't know how big the one from Claude is, but they usually start degrading really hard at around 40%.
Really?
And they'll start making like syntax errors.
Whoa.
So that's why usually the second time it builds a whole artifact in Claude, it will just like, I'll be like, yeah, this is not going to work. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get lucky, but usually it tells you like, oh, there's a semicolon that's like badly placed. And you're like, oh, well, too bad. It's
wow.
It's not going to be able to fix it.
So I just tell it to build the app and see if it builds it. I mean,
yeah, let's see. I think V0 is going to be better because it's agentic, right? It's able to manage its context much better.
Each one kind of gets their own type of thing here. So back in Spawn, let's see how this is doing. We're still waiting for some of the other apps. I think this one failed, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Story Crafter. So why don't we just say if it can make a better UI or something, or like here's another one.
Or just say like make mock.
So this one's called First 15. Crafts compelling AI video hooks in seconds. So provocative questions, shocking statistics, controversial statements, future prediction. In just 5 years, you'll never write another line of code yourself. I'm going to show you how generative AI is transforming software development right now. Use this template. Okay. This is pretty cool. So customize your hook. Ingest time frame, bold prediction.
Yeah, that's nice.
Okay. Specific AI technology. This is pretty cool. So replace these elements. So can I just go to, no? Okay. And it has a timer. Copy to clipboard. Huh.
Yeah, I like this the 15-second timer where like it right, like kind of computes how long it would take you to say these things.
Yeah. And even counts the characters.
It would like if we start riffing on this, right? Like it'd be interesting to use the text to speech to make sure that it actually sounds good, right? Like to just have like a preview. What would it sound like if I were to actually use this as a hook?
Those
are some.
So it says A/B hook testing with performative prediction, hook visualization with storyboards, AI-powered hook improvement suggestions. I like this one. Spawn. Let's just see. Spawn it, baby. So if you need some, if anyone still needs access code, let me know. I'll drop some more in the chat as well. So this is AI feedback. First 15 is brilliant. What would you like to have about real-time hook? What? I thought we did this one. What would you like most about having real-time hook improvement suggestions?
Or fast feedback.
What's that? I want you to generate personas for the users and ask and clarify who this is for. It should give a rating for the hook on which persona it'll resonate with. Resonate. Okay. Let's see. Just curious.
Yeah, like curiosity, I think, is going to be one of the skills that is really worth exercising now.
Love the idea.
Right? Like if you're
what types of
oh my god, it's like asking you a lot. They just build it.
AI builders. Let's go. I think it needs this context. I hope. Hopefully, it's going to generate something interesting. So
yeah, otherwise, just tell it,
now.
Like, just build it.
Yeah. So now it's going to try to. Okay, perfect. Let's evolve first 15 with personas and hook ratings. Sounds good. Yes.
And it's typing, or you can do like LFG. That's one of my favorite prompts.
Oh, here we go.
Well.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is what it's doing now. So creating, I'll analyze your hooks. Okay, cool. This is going to take 20 minutes. So it takes about 20 minutes per spawn, it looks like, to do its own things.
Yeah, although a lot of them were faster.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like in the first round.
Oh my gosh, look at this, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, this stuff is crazy. Like when you start adding like actual content, it has really a lot to latch onto. It's a good idea to use the thinking. I rarely use the thinking in Claude, but I should do that more.
Oh my!
And so now you have this like, yeah.
Let me refresh this here. I can't get.
You can't click. Yeah, you're done. Like your context window is shot at this point, I would say. But what you can do, right, is like if you go to copy.
The app.
Do you see the little copy button at the?
Yeah, hold on.
Before you type enter, copy.
Yeah.
And so now you can try to fix it, but I'm telling you this will fail. Pretty sure this will fail.
I see.
But what you can do now is you can open a new chat.
Oh, wow.
Or a cursor in that case, right?
Yeah.
And then this doesn't seem to even have JavaScript, right? It's just like a static page.
Yeah. Interesting.
So you can open a new window and maybe even add a screenshot of it as well.
Yeah.
And then just say again, like build this, please.
Yes.
Or generate a spec. Like when you see your context window getting too long and it like fails to generate the artifacts or stuff like that, that's a good point where you can go back and it still has like enough juice left to create a good spec for what it built. And then you can carry forward, right? It's like even if it's not able to write code anymore, it can still write a good spec, if that makes sense.
So I would open up a new window and like in the Claude?
So if I was so yeah, I would paste the code, maybe a screenshot as well so that it knows what it looks like.
Oh, I see.
And also I would say like you want an explanation of what this app is for, even though a lot of it's probably all in the screenshot, right?
Yeah.
And now, did it paste it?
No. There's a Mac OS 10 bug sometimes. Because as you attach it, it tries to delete the thing underneath it. Explain the app.
And no, just build.
Oh yeah, build.
I would try. And you might need like a little bit more context, but I think the screenshot actually has a lot of text, so it might just
extended.
Work.
Go.
Yeah, let's go. And so now you have a fresh context, right? It's like not.
I hate that they stash away the extended thinking so that because it costs them so much compute, they like literally always toggle up for every request. That's really dumb.
Yeah, I really like the Gemini traces. Like the Sonnet traces are just way too short.
Yes.
Gemini really just like allows you to learn a lot about your code base or your libraries. Yeah. Because it will show like variable names. It'll say like, oh, it looks like in this file, this variable is used for this. which might not be true, but at least it tells you that there's a variable called that in this file, and it allows you to like build up this understanding of your code base, which you usually get when you write your own code. You get a sense of like the spatial arrangement of the code base or where things are, which you don't get if you're just vibe coding, right?
Right.
Because you just like press accept, maybe there's these files and these files, but you're not really sure what's in these files. Looking at the thinking traces actually tells you what's in these files.
So somebody was asking what the tech stack is that Spawn uses, and we don't really know, but I would imagine it's some type of Claude underneath a hook, because we discovered that Claude was down and the agent was also down here in Spawn. So probably something like that.
Yeah, and for the app building, I looked at a couple in the inspector. It seems to be Next.js with Prisma and Supabase.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything other than that, so I'm not sure if it's able to use different stacks or so.
Yeah. What's it doing here? App select. Datadog. Oh, they're tracking my data.
I think because you're not showing one of the generated apps here, you see Spawn itself, but if you open it, then you'll be able to see.
Yeah. No, I see the Supabase calls. Yeah. Oh, interesting. I can't imagine what their bills are with all these different fetches.
Yeah.
Look at this. That's massive. Yeah. Like all the Supabase calls for, oh my gosh. Wow. Oh, I think I know why they're using Supabases for that real time. Yeah, app ID. Huh, interesting. Fascinating. Yeah, so they're getting updates from the Supabase as far as like what the container is doing or whatever that they're running in their backend, and then kind of feeding that back into the UI to show the various states of what this container is showing. Interesting. Well, I think that's...
And I think for the app themselves, it's also the same stack.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's funny because they're actually spawning themselves off into another app. So they're basically using their own stack, which is cool. I mean, if it works for them, it works for your apps too, right? So
yeah, and that was I don't know how much of like prompt injection tips I should share, but that's a very easy way for me to have gotten some of the Scout prompts. Is I asked it to build itself.
Interesting.
And then it just copied its prompts into a file, and I was like, okay, well, that's cool.
Okay, Jacob says it's a...
Or what I think is its prompts, but it looks like close enough, right?
Yeah, it's a similar stack, but not the same. Got it. Okay, it's a bit more performant. Makes sense, obviously, because it's got to deal with all these, like basically it's a micro app. I think it's really cool that we're able to build like this. To me,
yeah, it's a interesting concept because it can tell you how the products are like starting to target different niches.
Yes.
Right, like because you have V0 and Lovable and Replit and Manus and like all of these are kind of under the hood the same kind of stuff, which is like an agent that writes codes in a VM.
Right.
But then they start to target really different kind of audiences, right?
Exactly. Yeah, this is pretty cool. So let's see if we can start our challenge. All right, let's go.
Yep.
So learn what tokens are and why LLMs use them. What is a token in the context of large language models? A unit of cryptocurrency? A security feature? A piece of text that model processes a single unit? A programming variable in the model's source code? No, it's the piece of text. Correct.
Nice. All right, that's cool.
Oh, yay, completed. Counting tokens. So I guess this is just like a quiz. It's not necessarily like I'm going to teach you something and then I'm going to, ask you some questions. It's kind of like, do you already know this? So which of these will likely use most tokens in a typical LLM?
Right. What's your guess? Because I think this might actually be different than... I don't know. I'm curious about this one.
I think it's probably this one. Right?
Yeah,
Let's see.
This is tied. Yeah. This is tied with So the supercalifragilistic blah 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 is like 9 tokens, it seems.
Okay.
And then A, B, C, D, E, F, G is probably going to be 13. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah.
And then machine learning is probably going to be like around 8 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's 4 because actually each word is a single token.
Wow.
All right. Yes. Good call. I was kind of expecting that like C comma, D comma, E comma would be like individual tokens, but no, the comma is each time a different one.
I kind of thought so because the list, well, because of the way Markdown works and because of like instruction following, I feel like they make a rule for how commas work as also for, well, like specifically for these hashtag for Markdown files, which is kind of why they like kind of make these cutoffs. And so I thought, well, that's going to be each specific, sequences kind of matter for the language models because of how like what's that, when the tokenizer at inference time, when it's doing this backtrace, it's going to try to like it's basically just building a fancy list as it goes, right? So that was my thinking, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how a tokenizer gets trained.
Yeah.
So I generated deep research on it, but I never read it.
Oh, I tried to build one from scratch using Apple MLX, which is kind of why, I had a little bit of experience, but I forgot. This is a good quiz to get me back into it. Jacob says, I built to be macro apps as well. Oh, okay, cool. Wow. Infra scales to 0, but is super elastic and should be able to scale up to 100K users? 1 million users after... Whoa. Dude, these guys are cracked. Oh my God. So this is Spawn. So Spawn is going to have like 1 million users, everyone using this once like all of the maintenance stuff lands. Let's go. Can we download the Spawn projects to continue working on them somewhere else? They're probably going to charge you like $10,000. Like
that could definitely be a model, right? Like the same as with the Illustrator files when you buy assets.
I see. Yeah, so like you have a license to use them, but then you can pay to download them like source code, like $300 or something like that, or like a $300 a month subscription to like literally download them and then use them for scaling up, right? Because like I think part of it, Spawn is going to be its infrastructure. Like you don't have to think about infra, right? Like it's self-hosted, it's already on there, and then like you want to make changes. Like this is basically the worst version of what we're seeing so far. So imagine like all this feedback that they're getting from us, they make those improvements, and then like you can actually start just going here's the feature. It's kind of what I imagine if you kind of roll with me for a second. So if like this is the worst version that we've ever seen, the next versions could be literally like even better. You tell it to fix it, it fixes it almost instantly. It has the infra that's already hosted. And so now like these apps are like everything you want them to be, as fast as you want them to be. So that to take the code and put it out into like your own infrastructure could actually sort of be a hindrance unless you really do want to self-host it. Like for example, like a law firm office or something like that, you want to keep that private. You should probably pay to get that code out of there to put into a private environment so that you can do your own thing. But theoretically, because these guys have thought about this from the architecture level from the ground up, your app should already be ready to scale to like millions of people because this is kind of what they're working on. So that's kind of, I guess, maybe the promise here. And I'm just kind of flash forwarding like very much into the future. I don't know how soon that timeline is. I'm just kind of thinking about this type of thing. So Jacob says no code export currently. We have lots of first-party libraries that use our Spawn API. Wow. So secure auth, payments, friends, etc. So it'd be somewhat hard to adapt. That makes sense, actually. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because it's a very proprietary type of thing. Yeah.
We were talking about like where does software engineering go? I think that also these kinds of platforms are interesting in that there's probably going to be the agency model. I saw it. I'm not sure if it was on Spawn, where you can say like, oh, you want to actually build this app out for the next level is like, pay us like $1,000 and we'll do it for you, or like enter a contract with you for like enterprise support, and we'll do more, or if for more like a personal thing, which is like this kind of like software repairman, right? Like you're a software engineer, all that stuff really well, and people come to you and say like, look, I upgraded to the new iPhone and like the app that I vibe coded doesn't work with the camera anymore. Like, can you fix it?
Right.
And you've seen like 20 of those today. So you're like, yeah, come back tomorrow. It's going to be $50. Like your plumber, and you'll be like, why did I pay you $50 for a single prompt? And you're like, that's, that's how it works. And there's a whole gradation in that kind of model, right? Like you can be a really not shitty, but you can be a software repairman that literally just like downloads prompts and applies them. But does it so often that they do it really well, right? It's like I could change a battery in my iPhone, but I'm going to fuck it up because I never do it.
Right.
Someone who opens 25 iPhones per hour, they're going to be just like, they're not going to break it, right?
That's right. Yeah, like I used to repair like MacBooks and stuff, and like my fastest repair was probably like 8 minutes, and it would probably take someone like a couple of hours to do that same repair. It's like I knew where all the screws
and the
were.
risk of fucking it up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like I had everything down. I had like, I mean, that's just kind of craftsman. So I guess we can call this, like I call it the craftsman era, right? I feel like that's what's going to enable us to do. It's going to basically enable us to be craftsmen. And I feel like it's interesting. I really, God, this is a really fascinating app, right? I haven't seen anything like this in a very long time. And I'm so glad that like this is kind of where AI is sort of going in a really cool direction. And we're getting literally like the first peaks at this, like just different way of making apps with AI, right? Because every like Bolt, Lovable, like the chef from Convex, all these people are literally starting off and like literally doing the same thing, right? Replit, you have to iterate back and forth with an agent, and you can make an app and it's only going to get you so far. But this is a whole new paradigm.
It's single threaded, right?
Right.
Like
yes.
I know V0 in the early days, it would also like create 3. I haven't used it since then. But this one seems to be also like very exploratory. It's just like try out different things until you have one you like. And we don't give you too much control because probably you don't want too much control, right? It's like...
Exactly. It could actually hinder you. Well, the creativity is what you've seen. Like it may not get as creative if you're trying to narrow it down too much.
Yeah. And I kind of had the same thing, right? Like last week, or 2 weeks ago, I was like kind of struggling with what it means to be an engineer now that the models are so big and the agents work. And I came to a pretty good conclusion about what software engineering is, inside Cursor, like the traditional kind of software building where you have an editor, you're an engineer, you build your stuff. And then this week or the week before, I started using the agents more, and it like flipped my brain again, where I was like, okay, this changes kind of everything. If you look at my screen, I can just scroll through what I did with Manus. And so this is everything that I did since like April 2nd.
Wow.
Right? Like I just have it. And then in Scout, I have like kind of the same amount of projects, and it like transforms in terms of software building. I don't actually know what it built. Like I literally don't know what all of this is in some way.
Wow.
And a lot of those don't really fully work either, but also some of them are like pretty insanely advanced. Like every idea that I had was like, oh, I want a tool to manage my YouTube transcripts. I put in there and I was like, well, let's see what comes out, right? Or what we were discussing this morning, like let's make a course to learn how text generation, text to speech works, right? I will get a pretty freaking amazing course out of it.
Wow.
And I have so many of those now, right? Like it's too much for me to comprehend.
Right.
So my job now is like, it's like vibe delegation, I call it. Right? It's like I'm a manager, but also I can generate so many of my employees as I want. How do I turn that into like a coherent thing?
Wow.
That all of this is janky anyway, right? Like, and it's like, because I want to give it the creative freedom, I will end up with stuff that doesn't fit together very well.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
And so my job now is like, okay, well, how do we build like consistent projects out of this, right? It's and I think that's I think that to hit the larger mainstream as a concept is going to take quite a bit. But it's really interesting, right? It's like I literally all my life I wanted to have like 5 versions of myself,
right?
And I kind of do, but now I'm like struggling. Okay, but like there's still only one of me, and I need to do something out of it, right?
That's like, right. How do you make it count? How do you make that effort like worth something towards a goal. And so as we are thinking about this, I want to tell you about my 100K challenge. So I am on this mission to make my first $100,000 online. And I put this challenge out there because I saw a creator do this, and I think it's called Starter Story. And this guy has a challenge like literally every day he's using AI tools to try to build his first $100,000 online. He says, I talk about this. Why don't I make the challenge myself? And so that inspired me to do the same. I have been coding with Cursor and have been using these, since vibe coding since last year, before vibe coding was a thing, to build these AI apps. It's like, why can't I now focus it in to actually make my money and then document this live? So on starting May 1st, I'm starting this challenge, and I want to invite you along with me. And I want you to make sure if you're subscribed, hit that. There's a little bell icon that actually tells you to get all the notifications, because YouTube won't tell you when I go live unless you have that enabled. And they won't even show you all the videos, but that'll help you kind of get that better for you. And so with that challenge, I'm going to basically live stream the coding. We're going to take my app RayTranscribes and get it from 3 customers to 10 customers to 100 customers and keep scaling that up, because eventually, I want to make 100K. And if I'm able to do that, that means it can definitely replace a lot of my income as far as where I get my income from. And you can also follow along this challenge, because I believe that this is era that we're in to, help us learn and just be really curious and improve ourselves. Like, this is kind of what AI is sort of meant to do. And I want to put it up to that challenge, because can these models be really good at helping us generate economic value? And can it take someone like me who doesn't have a college degree, who used to work at a corporate FANG company, no longer working there? Can I generate something that can help me do that? If other kids are able to make this type of apps, take pictures of food and generate millions of dollars, why can't I do it, right? So I feel like that's kind of where this challenge is coming from. And along the way, you'll get to see how I prompt, how I use Cursor, the types of questions you ask. You can join in on these live streams, just like we're doing right now, ask questions and kind of follow along. So that's kind of a little bit about my challenge. And I'll be interviewing founders and other people who are making apps as well to ask them about my journey and their journey and kind of learn from them as well. So I'm based out here in the Bay Area, which is really awesome. And you'll basically get to see me, meet founders in person or bring them on these live streams and stuff so we can ask them some questions. So Sounds the Man says, how long will the creators pass be valid? I think it's just number of credits that you have. So as long as you have credits, I think you're pretty much good, but I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, that's it. So this is kind of like our first look at Spawn. This is the very beginnings of what I think is the next paradigm for how you can think of ideas and then get them into fully fledged apps. And these apps are a really good start for making your brain start to think about, oh yeah, I would like something like that. Or maybe I would like a game like that. Or look at this cool style. You could even take a screenshot and put it into another code editor and kind of iterate and go from there. And I wouldn't be surprised, to me, where I see this going is that it becomes so good and so scalable just from this one system that, the way that we kind of interact with an agent, it kind of fades away and it becomes more of like this delegator type of thing. So you're working with something like this and it just works really fast. You don't have to tell it move the pixel 3 to the left or something like that, or change this box color to this. Just kind of already inherently knows. And as the models get smarter, this type of system also gets smarter with you. So I think these guys have really hit into something that's really unique and very special that no one else is doing right now. But I can see a lot of the bigger companies going to want to copy this exact model because, we saw how fast you can generate different ideas. And to me, that's already very valuable. What do you think? Oh, I think oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm were you asking me? Were you asking the chat?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Chat can answer as well.
Yeah, chat can answer, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to go really fast with the agents, right? Because they're not that hard to build, I think, overall either. And you don't, right? You want to leverage the power of the model more so than throwing a lot of engineering at it.
Mm-hmm.
And from using the different agents I've been using yet at the moment, including like Claude Code and these like more local specialized ones, is that they're still like dumb as rocks under the hood, like models can be, right? Like generating a whole app that works is in a way easier than moving something 3 pixels to the left.
That's right.
If you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
If you've been coding with LLMs, you know exactly what I mean. It's like moving something 3 pixels to the left actually requires you to know what you're doing, versus building a full shooter might be much easier because it's in the training corpus and it's easier to merge patterns together.
That makes sense.
And so I think agent platforms will figure out some of the like more egregious ways that models go wrong, which I ran into, which is like just naming files and like not overwriting files, like that kind of stuff. It's just like but how it fits into this like bigger, okay, what are we going to be able to build? And what does it mean that if you can build a YouTube transcript app in an afternoon, so can everybody, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
so it's really hard for me to be like, okay, well, if today it takes an afternoon, that still allows me to do this kind of business model. But if it suddenly takes 2 minutes, then what?
Yeah. Yeah. And then like, what's the value? And I feel like, I think there's that. And then the other part of it is then how do you like make an ecosystem in which all of these can kind of play into a greater goal, right? I feel like as humans, we want to like achieve an outcome. Like for me, like the 100K is like a big financial outcome that I want to achieve. Like how I get there, like what are all the tools that I need to use? And then can I give that to someone else to use, saying, hey, I've already done a lot of this work for you. Why can't I license my work to them, right? So that they can use it, right?
Yeah, I think there's something there which I've been thinking a lot about, which is like community-based software. So if you think about like things that really need this like massive scale right now, like say Uber Eats, right? Uber Eats needs to have like thousands of engineers to operate at scale. It needs to have like this whole infrastructure of drivers and XYZ, and like needs to do government regulations is something that's really like, but if suddenly with a team of 3 people, you can build an experience like an app for the user that's just as nice, if not nicer than what Uber Eats gives you. And, and you have like a sales hustle person on your team that's just going to go around the city and sign up every single bakery and say like, look, do you want to be part of our app? And then make the app really custom to these like bakeries. And right, like then suddenly there's this, I'd much rather have my local software team that I know that responds really quickly, that I can meet for a coffee to build my app than like signing up to Uber Eats, which is going to, eat 30%. And on the other hand, this like team of 3 people, why would they grow if they make a good salary, right? It's like, all your customers, like people love your app. You're like always able to improve something that you use yourself. That's like your community. I think that's something that I experienced working in like family businesses. There's a lot of like retail family businesses that are big enough to afford an engineer or two.
Interesting.
Where we had our entire stack in-house, right? It's like logistics. We had like an iPhone app. And so if like Aaron from shipping was like, I want to have like a feature in the app to handle returns.
Wow.
I'd be like, okay, well, that's going to be the sprint for this week.
Yeah.
And seeing how happy it makes people to add the checkbox that they always wanted.
That's right.
Is like killer, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Dang.
Uber is never going to give you your checkbox.
Right. That's
They'll
right.
just like have a robocall that's going to say like ask support and then be like, yeah, whatever.
That's crazy.
But if you call someone up and 2 weeks later you have your checkbox, or with AI, like maybe tomorrow you'll have your checkbox. That's an incredible value that no one else is going to be offering for you, right? Like it's not the person in San Francisco that's going to offer to build the checkbox for the bakery in Providence here, right?
Yeah.
And I think we'll see a lot more of that, where if software is like bread or a restaurant, then you're going to have like your local restaurant that's really where you not just value the food, but you also just value the fact that it's like local and the people.
Yeah. This is really cool, man. If you want to check this out, spawn.co. That's going to be your key to get in. Drop a comment below if you haven't had a chance to get a coupon code, if you are watching this video, so like, oh my God, I missed out on the live stream, I still have some coupon codes. So if you made it this far and you want some coupon codes, just drop a comment and then I'll try to reply to some of the comments with a coupon code. So make sure you got to stay tuned, because as soon as you drop the comment and I drop the reply with a coupon code, make sure you use one of those. I'll also have some in the descriptions below so you can use one of those coupon codes to get in. So without further ado, I think this is a good way to kind of end the stream here. Definitely check out spawn.co. Ray Fernando 1337. Manuel, you can check him out on X at Program with AI.
Program with AI.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, kids. We're going to have a stream coming soon, maybe this weekend or something. And stay tuned for May 1st. I'm going to kick off the 100K challenge. Catch y'all later. Peace.
All right. Bye.